Hello everyone, welcome to Solo Survivor. আজি টেষ্ট নাম্বাৰ 2 আজি দ্বিতীয়টো দিন APSC কম্বাইন কম্পিটিটিভ প্ৰিলিমছৰ 2026 বৰ্ষৰ যিটো জেনেৰেল ষ্টাডিজ পেপাৰ 1 তাত আহিব লগা কিছুমান কুৱেশ্যনছ ইয়াতে 30 to 35 কুৱেশ্যনছ আছাম ৰিলেটেড আৰু কাৰেণ্ট এফেয়াৰ্ছ স্পেচিফিক বনোৱা হৈছে লগতে UPSC পেটাৰ্ণটো ফ'ল' কৰা হৈছে ষ্টেটমেণ্ট কুৱেশ্যনছবিলাক ষ্টেটমেণ্ট থকাকৈ বনোৱা হৈছে অলপ টাফাৰ মানে হেৰিত চাইডেদি চ' পেন এণ্ড পেপাৰ লৈ কিনে ৰেডি হওক কিমান মাৰ্কছ পায় আপোনালোকে চ' কুৱেশ্যন নম্বৰ 1 কনচিডাৰ দ্য ফলোয়িং ষ্টেটমেণ্টছ ৰিগাৰ্ডিং দ্য পাৰ্ডনিং পাৱাৰ অফ দ্য প্ৰেচিডেণ্ট এণ্ড দ্য গভৰ্ণৰ ইন ইণ্ডিয়া ৰাষ্ট্ৰপতি আৰু কি গভৰ্ণৰৰ মানে ক্ষমা দান কৰাৰ ক্ষমতাৰ বিষয়ে দ্য প্ৰেচিডেণ্ট কেন পাৰ্ডন আ ডেথ চেণ্টেন্স এইটো হয় while the governor cannot even if yes itu correct hobo lage one statement is correct the president's power to grant pardon extends to punishments by a court martial court martialer jorote extends punishment by a hobo pare but the governors does not kitu governor no hoy itu correct hobo both the president and the governor have concurrent power regarding the suspension remission and commutation of a death sentence. All of them are correct. Hobo lage. Come on. Oh, sorry, B. 2 and 3 are correct. 2 and 3 are correct. While the governor cannot, even if a state law prescribes it. Governor pare niki. Death sentence. Pardon koribo pare niki. Death sentence so mane mrityu ক্ষমা কৰি দিব পাৰে গভৰ্ণৰৰ প্ৰেচিডেণ্টো পাৰে যেনিবা প্ৰেচিডেণ্টো পাৰে গভৰ্ণৰো পাৰে তাৰমানে পাৰ্ডন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে অ'কে বিজ দ্য কাৰেক্ট আনচাৰ এইটো ৰং হ'ল মোৰ এটা ষ্টেটমেণ্ট আছে one is incorrect because while the governor cannot pardon a death sentence governor to death sentence will comply absorb the convict he or she can suspend remit or commit it statement 2 is correct the president alone has the power to pardon sentences by court martial statement 3 is correct as article 72 and article 161 overlap regarding the suspension commutation and of death sentence president or এইবিলাক 70 লাইনত আছে 71 72 এনেকে তো 72 article আৰু 161 article আছে pardon a death sentence while the governor cannot even state law prescribes it. One not correct. 2 and 3 are correct. 1 is not correct. Okay. Question number 2. With reference to the Treaty of Majuli 1563 in Assam history, which of the following outcomes is correct? The Ahom King surrendered the entire region west of Barnadi River to the Kos King. It established alliance between the Ahoms and the Mughals. The Treaty of Majuli to Kos aru Ahomor majote hobo lage. The Ahom Kingdom became a protected state under British nohoy. It resulted in the annexation of the Sutia Kingdom by the Ahoms. Sutia Kingdom itu A hobo. Yes, A is the correct answer. Is the correct answer at the Treaty Majuli sign hoisil Kos King Northern aru Ahom King Suklingmung Gorga Rojar majot as per treaty Ahoms had to cede the territory Ahom bilag iri disile Majuli west territory of west of Barnadi Posim more mati khini to the Kos King and to pay a heavy indemnity including hostages from the royal family. Okay. Three number question. Consider the following statements regarding carbon sinks. Carbon sinks are abroad. Blue carbon refers to carbon captured by the world's ocean and coastal ecosystems. Mangroves and seagrasses can store significantly more carbon per unit area than terrestrial forests. When coastal ecosystems are degraded, they transition from being carbon sinks to becoming sources of greenhouse gases. Which of the statements are correct? Carbon sink or blue carbon refers to carbon captured by the world's ocean and of course itu হ'ব লাগে. Mangroves and seagrasses can store significantly more carbon per unit area to mangroves forest or seagrass বিলাক terrestrial কৰি বেছিকৈ পাৰে I think পাৰে terrestrial forests mangroves to ইমানো নাই seagrassটো বহুত আছে হয় correct when coastal ecosystems are degraded they transition from being carbon sinks to becoming sources of greenhouse gases when coastal ecosystems are degraded they transition from being carbon sinks to becoming sources of greenhouse gases yes all of them are correct all of them are correct all of them are correct D yes D this is the correct answer okay explanation blue carbon ecosystems mangroves salt marshes and seagrasses are highly efficient at sequestering carbon yes carbon sequestrate however when these ecosystems are drained or cleared and the stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere as CO2 carbon dioxide for number question, with reference to the Economic Survey of India, consider the following statements. Economic Survey of India. The Economic Survey is a statutory document that the government of India is legally bound to present before the budget. Economic Survey statutory document. Hi. It is prepared by the Economics Division of the Department of Economics Affairs under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor. Economic Survey of India, whole Economic Survey Division. It's prepared by the Economic Division of the Department of Economic Affairs under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor. The recommendations in the Economic Survey are binding over the Union budget. Economic Survey of India Union budget or লগত bind থাকে নেকি The recommendations made in Economic Survey are binding with the Economic Survey Union budget or লগত of course হ'ব লাগে all of them হ'ব লাগে D oh sorry A only A that is only two statements correct Economic Survey it is statutory document নহয় মোৰ অনুমান legally bound to present before the budget itu নহয় to legal নহয় Economic Survey of India before budget মানে legally হ'ব কিন্তু মানে statutory document হ'ব নালাগে only two is correct in his of this so it is prepared by the Economic Division of the Department of Economic Affairs under the guidance of the Chief Economic Advisor okay Economic Survey is a tradition Economic Survey the tradition not a statutory requirement or method it traditionally কৰা হয় যেতিয়া ইচ্ছা though it is standard practice furthermore its recommendations are not binding on the government no relation statement 2 is correct it is the flagship document of the Ministry of Finance yes question number 5 in the context of ancient Indian history the term iripatti refers to iripatti means ancient history or Indian history iripatti means land derivative from which was set up for the maintenance of the village tank গাঁৱলীয়া পুখুৰীৰ কাৰণে যিখিনি পুখুৰীৰ মাটি যেনিবা ডেভেলপ প্ৰমিস সেট আপ to extract ৰখা হয় for the maintenance of the village tank পুখুৰী বনাবৰ কাৰণে মানে পুখুৰীৰ মেইনটেইনৰ কাৰণে be added of tax levied on a trade of silk through the Himalayan passes the designation of the chief priest in the Pallava administration আৰু 7 number 2 westland converted into cultivable land during the Gupta period westland converted into এৰিপাতিটো এইটো westland হ'ব এৰাবাৰী যে কোৱা আমি অসমীয়াত তেনেকৈ সেইটো হ'ব লাগে the priest Pallava administration tax levied on the land village tank সেইটোৰ কাৰণে নহ'ব এইটো হ'ল D হ'ব sorry that is A this is A okay during the Pallava period in South India Iripati Pallava many ruler Iripati a social category of land the revenue generated from this land was dedicated specific to the repair and maintenance of village tanks irrigation reservoirs irrigation system আছিলে পুখুৰীবিলাকৰ কাৰণে ব্যৱহাৰ কৰা হৈছিলে আৰু তাৰ হেৰিবিলাক কৰবিলাক regarding the sixth schedule of the constitution of India consider following statement sixth schedule আকৌ আহিছে the acts of parliament or the state legislature do not apply to autonomous districts or apply with specified modifications the acts of parliament or the state legislature do not apply to autonomous districts to autonomous districts or ওপৰতে আছে 6 schedule or apply with specified modifications itu wrong হ'ব লাগে wrong the power to decide this applicability lies with the president or for both central and state laws or the six no the president লগত নহয় এইটো গভৰ্ণৰৰ লগতে থাকে so both of them are incorrect হ'ব লাগে নহ'লে বা 1 হ'ব লাগে later one the acts of parliament or the state legislature do not apply to autonomous districts are লগত হয় so 2 wrong both of them are neither 1 neither 2D sorry A 1 to correct হয় ইমান নেগেটিভ হৈছে ন এইটো correct হয় এইটো নহয় the acts of parliament or the state legislature do not apply to autonomous districts ৰ কাৰণে এইটো applicable নহয় apply with the specified modifications 6 schedule 2 okay only one is correct statement 1 correct statement 2 is incorrect because in the case of Assam the governor has the power to decide the applicability of both central and state laws yes অসমতো গোটেই এৰ কৰিব পাৰে না central আৰু state to autonomous districts for Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram and president decides for central laws and the governor for state laws wow I mean hard this question too question number 7 which of the following best describes the Marshall Plan introduced after World War II to Marshall Plan World War II পিছত কি হৈছিল কেনেকা আছিল a Soviet initiative to provide economic aid to Eastern European countries Soviet initiate কৰিছিল কিছুমান economic aid Eastern European countries and it is Marshall Plan US program providing aid to Western Europe to rebuild economies and prevent the spread of communism Marshall Plan to US or Soviet Union or a military alliance formed between US and South American nations a United Nations led mission to decolonize African nations এটা US হ'ব লাগে B হ'ব লাগে correct yes B হ'ব লাগে Marshall Plan B লগত related The Marshall Plan, official the European Recovery Program, was an American initiative passed in 1948 foreign to Western Europe. It was designed to stabilize democratic institutions by repairing the war-torn economies of Europe. Okay. Consider the following pairs of traditional festivals and their states. There is Biden Clum to Meghalaya hoy. Ambubasi Mela Assam, Anthurium Festival, I don't know, Moacho Festival, Manipur, are correctly matched. Kun keta eta duita to hoy, Moacho Festival, Manipur, han hoy. Tuta to correct, 1 2 2 correct, 1 2 2 correct, it to B2 cancel, and T2 cancel, 1 2 4, no 1 2 3. Anthurium Festival Mizoramot hoy, Machu Festival no hoy, it 1 2 3 hit correct hobo. 8A, yes. It is a Machu Festival to Kot Hoi, to Nagaland to Hoi. Interim Festival, Mizoram Hoi. So this is it. With reference to the Indian Ocean Dipole, IOD, Indian Ocean Dipole, which of the following statements is correct? Indian Ocean Dipole, positive dipole results in heavy rainfall in East Africa and drought-like conditions in Australia. Negative Indian Ocean dipole is characterized by warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Western Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean dipole has no impact on the Indian summer monsoon. It is a phenomenon strictly limited to the Atlantic Ocean. Indian Ocean dipole to Atlantic Ocean লগত কেনেকা connection হ'ব? Phenomenon strictly limited to the has no impact on the Indian summer monsoon. Summer monsoon Indian এইটোতো হ'ব নালাগে summer monsoon to Indian হ'ব লাগে Indian Ocean. There's no impact on the Indian summer monsoon. Summer monsoon Indian Ocean dipole. Negative Indian Ocean dipole is characterized by warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Western Indian Ocean. Western Indian Ocean to look মানে ঠান্ডা নেকি? Positive the results in heavy rainfall in East Africa or East Africa heavy rainfall hoy and drought-like conditions in Australia. Australia drought-like condition hoy niki? Indian Ocean dipole karone ete hobo ete correct hobo lage. A common yes, A is correct. Positive Indian Ocean dipole involves warmer sea surface temperatures in the Western Indian Ocean. Warmer sea surface temperature in the Indian Ocean, that is near Africa, and cooler in the east near Australia. Australia cool hoy aru Africa phale gorom hoy. This leads to more rain in East Africa and India. East Africa and India beshi borokhon pore, but less in Australia. Kintu Australia jitu eastern side etu kom porimone borokhon pore. A negative Indian Ocean double is the opposite. A negative to beleg, it positive to beleg. তেনেকুৱা দিছে নেকি positive Indian Ocean dipole positive Indian Ocean dipole হ'লে যেনিবা আফ্ৰিকাত বেছিকৈ বৰষুণ পৰে আফ্ৰিকা ইণ্ডিয়াত পিছত অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়াত কমকৈ বৰষুণ পৰে যদি নিগেটিভ হয় তেতিয়াহ'লে আফ্ৰিকা আৰু ইণ্ডিয়াত মানে আকাল হয় বৰষুণৰ আৰু অষ্ট্ৰেলিয়াত বৰষুণ বহুত পৰে সেনেকুৱা হয় তাৰমানে Indian Ocean dipole positive and negative আছে Question number 10 the cabinet mission 1946 rejected the demand for a full-fledged Pakistan because cabinet mission reject কৰিছিলে because it believed a separate state would not solve the communal problem. Cabinet mission কৰিছিলে এটোতো হ'ব নালাগে communal problem. It argued it argued that the communication and defense systems of the subcontinent would be disrupted. এটোতো সঁচা কথা. The Sikh community in Punjab was against the partition. Yes, this was correct. It believed a separate state would not solve the communal problem. All of them are correct. এইটো গোটেইকেইটা হ'ব D. Yes, D. Turkey. The cabinet mission found that a separate Pakistan would involve a large non-Muslim population in the west and east, making the communal problem persist. They also persisted that the Indian Ocean or Indian Army railways and telegrams were built for a united India and the partition would weaken the defense. পূব আৰু পশ্চিমত বাংলাদেশ আৰু পাকিস্তানতো মুছলিম আছেই যেনিবা একো নাই Okay. Question number 11, with reference to the Satriya dance form of Assam, consider the following statements. It was introduced by the great Vaishnava Saint Srimanta Sankardeva in the 15th century. The dance is traditionally performed by male monks known as Bhagwats as part of daily rituals in Satras. It was recognized as one of the classical dances of India by the Sangeet Natak Academy in the year 2000. Which of the statements given above are correct? এইটোতো হয় ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো মানে ভালকৈ দিয়ে নহ'ল ন both of them are correct. One, two. With reference ইয়াতে ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো হৈয়ে নাছিল নহ'লে বস্তুখিনি the 15th century 15th century হয় 15th century in the traditionally performed by male monks Foucault's to rituals 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are correct. That is D. এইখিনি পঢ়ি চাওকচোন আগতে এইটো কুৱেশ্যনটো পঢ়ি চাওকচোন চৰি এনচাৰটোৱে ওলাই গ'ল ন ৰ'ব মই কিবা এটা কাম কৰি আছোঁ অকণমান মই আপোনালোকে এইটো পঢ়ি Kya question? The question to 12 number question. Consider the following statements regarding the fundamental duties in Indian Constitution. They were added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 based on the recommendations of the Saran Singh Committee. Saran Singh Committee recommendation. They are enforceable by law and the Parliament can provide for the imposition of appropriate penalty or punishment for failure to fulfill any of them. Fundamental duty বিলাকতো enforceable হয় ন এইটোতো প্ৰথমটোতো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে এইটো গতিকে ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো মানে হয় নাহিল নুঠিলে ভালকৈ 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act based on 76 Saran Singh Committee recommend কৰিছিলে ন হয় হ'ব লাগে হোৱা নিচিনা লাগি আছে এইটো They are enforceable by law. Fundamental duty. Fundamental duty. Fundamental duty to enforceable no hoy. And the Parliament can provide for the imposition of appropriate penalty for punishment for failure to fulfill any of them. Second to incorrect. The duty to vote in public elections is one of the 11 fundamental duties. Yes, fundamental duty 11 আছে এইটো ডিউটি টু ভোটটো হ'ব লাগে ৰাইট টু ভোট ন ৰাইট টু ভোট সেইটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ডিউটি হয় কিন্তু চ' ওৱান এণ্ড আৰু কাৰেক্ট এতিয়া কেইটা কাৰেক্ট কৈছে এইটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ডিউটি হয় নেকি ভোট দিয়া ডিউটি টু ভোট ইন পাব্লিক ইলেকশ্যনছ এইটো ডিউটি নহয় দেই ইচ্ছা নহ'লে ভোট নিদিবও পাৰে yes so only one is correct answer তেতিয়া 1 and 2 are correct answer they are enforceable by law fundamental duty বিলাক enforce কৰিব পাৰি ন fundamental duties are enforceable by law and parliament can provide for the imposition of appropriate penalty or punishment for failure okay এইটো so এইখিনিতে হেৰিবিলাক আছে এইটো চাই লওক এক্সপ্লানেশ্যন ষ্টেটমেণ্ট ওৱান ইজ কাৰেক্ট চৰণ সিং কমিটিয়ে 1976ত 42nd এমেণ্ডমেণ্টত এইটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ডিউটিটো হেৰি কৰিছে আনিছে যেনিবা ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো এইটো কাৰেক্ট ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো বিকজ ৱেল দে আৰ নট অট'মেটিকেলি এনফৰ্চেবল নহয় লাইক ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ বাট statements are correct fundamental they are enforceable by law and the parliament can provide for the imposition of appropriate penalty or punishment for the failure of যেতিয়া law হেৰি হয় parliament is free to enforce them through suitable legislation এইটোৰ কাৰণে যেনিবা এইটো enforceable হয় আৰু কিন্তু directly নহয় Wildlife Protection Act prevention of insults to National Honor Act. Statement 3 is incorrect. Voting in elections is a legal or constitutional duty, but is not part of the 11 fundamental duties. Oh, it's your duty, but it's a fundamental duty. It's not for Geneva. Article 51(8)(9) or Geneva. Oh, duty to vote in public elections. It's fundamental duties. It's 11th list আছে in article number 51A তাতে এইটো নাই ডিউটি টু ভোটটো কিন্তু এইটো লিগেল এণ্ড কনষ্টিটিউচনেল ডিউটি হয় okay question number 13 in the context of ancient India the doctrine of Sadvada the doctrine of Sadvada is associated with which of the following Sadvada doctrine of Sadvada Buddhism Jainism Lokayata school Ajivika Sadvada nasunute ete B2 correct answer asle Jainism asle doctrine of Sadvada etu ancient India Jainism logot related are explanation Sadvada is a core principle of Jainism it is the theory of conditioned prediction Sadbhava or Sadvada এনেকা নিচিনা লাগিছে such thing that all judgments are conditional and hold good only in certain conditions or circumstances it is closely related to Hanekatoto the theory of many sidedness so many different question number 14 with reference to the national parks in Assam consider the following statements both Kaziranga and Manas national parks are listed under the UNESCO World Heritage Sites ito hoy Dihing Patka and the Ramona were noticed as national parks in the year 2021 2021 Ramona ito hobo lage Dihing Patka yo hobo lage Namiri National Park is located on the southern of the Brahmaputra River Namiri konhinit asile Namiri to শোণিতপুৰত আছিলে ন তেজপুৰত নে শিৱসাগৰ নহয় এটোকে সাউথাৰ্ণ বেংক শোণিতপুৰতে হ'ব লাগে এটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে all of them should be correct 1 2 3 D হ'ব লাগে sorry A 1 or 2 Namiri to ইফালে নহয় ক'ত বা আছে নামেৰ এইটো চাব লাগিব ইয়াতে কাজিৰঙা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক এইটোতো ইউনেস্কো ভাল আছে দিহিং পাটকাই এণ্ড ৰায়মনা নৰ্থ ইষ্ট ইন 2021 নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক হিচাপে হেৰি কৰা হৈছিলে কিন্তু ৰায়মনাটো তাৰমানে ৰায়মনাটো ক'ত আছে কাজিৰঙা 1985 নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক 1985 দুটা একেলগে মানস থাকোঁ আৰু এইপিনে নামেৰ এইটো শোণিতপুৰ ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্টতে আছে অন দ্য নৰ্থ বেংক অফ ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ শোণিতপুৰ নৰ্থ বেংকত আছে নেকি শোণিতপুৰটো নৰ্থ বেংকে পৰে এইটোত মোৰ মিষ্টেক হৈছে নামেৰ এইটো শোণিতপুৰতে হয় কিন্তু নৰ্থ বেংকে পৰে এইটো চাউথ বেংক বুলি দিয়া আছিলে ন ইয়াতে চাউথ বেংকটো শোণিতপুৰ নহয় ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰৰ চাউথ বেংক নহয় মোৰ চাউথ বেংক অ'কে অলপতে মিষ্টেক কৰি দিছে চাহ শোণিতপুৰে দিছে কিন্তু চাউথ আৰু নৰ্থতে মিষ্টেক হৈ গ'ল 15 number question consider the following peers modern history events and governor general's evolution of city Lord William Bentinck what first census in India that is Lord Mayo hoy hetu hoy particular press act Lord Ripon kun kita correct evolution of city to hetu hoy modern Indian generals এইটো 1 to correct হয় first census Lord Mayo এইটো correct হয় vernacular press act Lord Ripon এইটো correct হ'ব লাগে তো 1 and 2 and 3 দিয়ে হ'ব লাগে দেই মই দিয়ে sorry 1 and 2 দি to correct 3 to wrong আছে vernacular press act to কোনে কৰিছিলে vernacular Lord Lytton হেৰ কৰিছিলে vernacular press act 1878 Lord কি আছিল Lord Lytton তো কেনেকৈ আহিলে এইটো 16 okay 1516 এতে 16 number question regarding the money bill in the Indian parliament which of the following statements is not correct money bill going to correct no no a money bill can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha the Rajya Sabha can suggest amendments but cannot reject or amend the bill if the Rajya Sabha does not return the bill within 14 days it is deemed to have been passed by both houses to answer to dekhai pala apnaloke the president can return the money bill for reconsideration of the houses money bill regarded kuntu wrong hoise no the president can return the money bill for reconsideration of the houses money bill to president return korbo pare niki president to নহয় এইটো প্ৰেচিডেণ্টে নোৱাৰে মানে বিলটো লোকসভাৰ পাৱাৰ আছে যেতিয়া পাহৰি থাকিলোঁ দেই ভালকৈ মনত নাই কিন্তু লোকসভাই মানে বিলটো হেল্প কৰিব পাৰে মানে বিল কেন অনলি বি ইন্ট্ৰডিউচড ইন লোকসভা সেইটো হয় মাত্ৰ লোকসভাই ইন্ট্ৰডিউচ কৰিব পাৰে দ্য ৰাজ্যসভা কেন ছাজেষ্ট amendments but cannot reject or amend the bill এইটো হয় if the Rajya Sabha does not return the bill within 14 days it is deemed to happen passed by both houses the Rajya Sabha does not return the bill deemed to happen passed by Rajya Sabha যোনটো হেৰি নকৰে বিলটা ৰিটাৰ্ণ নকৰে বা একো হেৰি নিদিয়ে তেতিয়াহ'লে 14 দিনৰ ভিতৰত মানে সন্মতি দিয়া বুলি ধৰি লোৱা হয় আৰু so this is it প্ৰেচিডেণ্টৰ ইয়াতে কোনো হেৰি নাই so this would be the correct answer means to d2 যেটো incorrect সেইকাৰণে সেইটো correct answer হৈ যাব আৰু ইয়াতে explanation আছে dear বিষয়ে কি explanation the president can either give his assent or without his assent to money bill but cannot return it for reconsideration assent দিব পাৰে নিদিব পাৰে কিন্তু return দিব নোৱাৰে as it is usually introduced with his prior recommendation which of the following best describes the standard model in physics or standard model কোনটো describe কৰে বৰ্ণনা কৰে ন a model describes the expansion of the universe after the Big Bang physical model the expansion of the universe after the Big Bang এইটো হ'ব লাগে a theory concerning three of the four known fundamental forces and the elementary particles, a framework for understanding the biological evolution of species. Biological evolution of species, framework for understanding the physical কি আছিলে standard model in physics. Physicsত পদাৰ্থ বিজ্ঞান থিয়ৰিটো পদাৰ্থ বিজ্ঞানৰ ঘটনা নক'ব নেকি geological model for tectonic plate movements এইটো নহয় from understanding biological evolution of species এইটো নহ'ব theory concerning three of the four fundamental forces and the elementary particles এইটোৱে হ'ব B হ'ব yes B okay explanation খিনি এতিয়া আপোনালোকে নিজে নিজে পঢ়ি লওক the Maurya rebellion 1769 ৰ পৰা 1806 1769 ৰ পৰা 1806 লৈকে হৈছিলে ন in Assam was primarily a conflict between the Ahom kings and the Burmese invaders, the disciples of the Maurya Satra and the Ahom monarchs. এইটোৱে হয় মইতো বিটোৱে হ'ব মোৱামৰীয়া হেৰিবিলাকৰ মোৱামৰীয়া কি কৈছিলে তাক মানুহবিলাক সত্ৰৰ হেৰি মানুহবিলাক আৰু আহোমৰ হেৰিৰ মাজত হৈছিলে লাহে লাহেকে চ' বিটো কাৰেক্ট এনচাৰ হ'ব was social religious and political conflict between the Morans or Moran কেইটাকে মোৱামৰীয়া বুলি কৈছিলে disciple of Maurya Satra and the Ahom kings weakened the Ahom king eventually Burmese invasion leading to Burmese মৰাণ বিলাকৰ হেৰিতে বাৰ্মিজ লাহেকে বাৰ্মিজ বিলাকৰ হেৰি হৈ গ'ল মাটি দিলে বাৰ্মিজক তাৰপিছতে বাৰ্মাৰ পৰা বাৰ্মিজ আহি গৈছে মানবিলাক অসমলৈ আহি কিনে আহোমবিলাকক মানে অশান্তিত পেলাইছিল মানে শাসন কৰিছিল with reference to inflation consider the following statements with reference to inflation মূল্য বৃদ্ধি headline inflation মানে কি includes the prices of food and fuel which are volatile core inflation মানে কি excludes food and fuel components from the inflation basket core inflation excludes food and fuel components from the inflation basket in India the Reserve Bank of India uses wholesale price index as the key measure of inflation for monetary policy কোনকেইটা কাৰেক্ট হ'ব ষ্টেটমেণ্টছ আৰু কাৰেক্ট 1 to 3 আছে ন 1 to 2 কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে দেই core inflation excludes কোনটো হ'ব core inflation excludes food and fuel components from the inflation basket in India the Reserve Bank of India uses wholesale price index Reserve Bank is the key measure of inflation for monetary policy যেটো হ'ব লাগে Reserve Bank of India uses wholesale price index তো হ'ব নালাগে দেই 3 নম্বৰটো হ'ব নালাগে so 1 and 2 B হ'ব লাগে yes B তাৰমানে Reserve Bank India আৰু কেনেকৈ wholesale price index হেৰি কৰিব ন so now uses CPI হেৰি কৰে consumer price index হেৰি কৰে Reserve Bank specifically the CPI combined as its primary tool for inflation targeting and monetary policy. In the context of Indian geography, the dual informations are found in the Western Ghats. Dual formations are found in dual geography context of no Western Ghats থাকে the outer foothills of the Himalaya foothill northeast India and the desert regions of Rajasthan, the coastal plains of Kerala. Dual যেটো ইণ্ডিয়াই হ'ব লাগে বিয়ে হ'ব লাগে তাৰমানে কি এবাৰ নৰ্থ ইষ্টৰ মানে কুৱেশ্যন দিছে যেতিয়া নৰ্থ ইষ্টে বিয়ে হ'ব লাগে so B is the correct answer here Towards Maniki, towards the alluvial floodplains in the northeastern India that lie south of the outer foothills of Himalayas and north of the Brahmaputra River basin. They serve as gateways to Bhutan and are famous for tea gardens. Bhutan also many Himalayas south of on the northern bank of Brahmaputra River. Consider the following statements regarding the preamble of the Constitution. Indian Constitution preamble. The preamble is a source of power to the legislature and also a preamble to support to the legislature and also a prohibition of the powers of the legislature. Preamble হ'ব পাৰে. It was amended for the first and only in first time in six. Don't know why. In the Kesavananda Bharti case, the Supreme Court had that the preamble is a part of the Constitution. Preamble is the part of the Constitution. Kesavananda Bharti case itu hoy. So 3 to hoy, correct? Ete kuntu 1 and 3, 1 and 3 C. Okay, B to he. 1 to incorrect hol nige. The preamble is a source of power to the legislature and also prohibition about the powers of the legislature. Preamble is a source of power. Preamble the source of power no hoy. Also prohibition indicate Korean cap on the powers of the legislature. Preamble is a basic structure, I don't know, of the constitution which cannot be destroyed, distorted, or like that. Okay, so 1 is wrong. 2 and 3 are correct. Means what? Preamble. What can it have operator? It was amended for the first time. Preamble question no. Preamble কথা কৈছে preamble to amend কৰা হৈছিলে for the first time only and only for the first and only time in 1976 মাত্ৰ preamble to একবাৰে মাত্ৰ হেৰি কৰা হৈছিলে ন 1976 42nd amendment এইটো হয় এটা misunderstood হৈছে মোৰ ভালদৰে চাব লাগে এইটো correct 2 to correct 3 to correct so 1 to wrong হৈ থাকিলে ন okay now at 22 with reference to the Ahams who was the first king to adopt a Hindu title Hindu Sorgonaran Suhungmunge যিটো মানে কি আছিলে বামুণৰ ঘৰত হেৰি হৈছিল ন পালন কৰিছিলে এইটো সুহংমুং হ'ব সুহংমুং 1497 to 1539 Dihinga Rosa Asile was the first Ahom king adopt Hindu title Sorgonaran at the beginning of the expansion of the Ahom kingdom and gradual Hinduization of the Ahom cult. তেতিয়া লাহে লাহে আহমদ হিন্দুৰ প্ৰভাৱ পৰিছিলে with reference which of the following atmospheric layers contain the ozone layer that protects the earth ozone layer protect কৰাটো ozone layer troposphere stratosphere and mesosphere troposphere stratosphere আছিলে ozone layer to troposphere stratosphere হয় stratosphere B হ'ব লাগে yes B the ozone layer primarily found lower portion of that stratosphere lower portion from a version of 15 to 35 kilometers above earth পৃষ্ঠৰ পৰা যেনিবা 15 to 35 kilometers থাকে stratosphere it absorbs 97 to 99% of the sun's medium frequency ultraviolet rays 97 to 99 বহুত মানে almost গোটেইখিনি for 24 consider the following statements regarding monetary policy committee MPC monetary policy committee of India monetary policy committee টাকা পইচাৰ হিচাপ ৰাখে নেকি এইটো কমিটিয়ে নেকি হিচাপ মানে পলিচি মেক কৰে It is a statutory monetary policy committee statutory body constituted under the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 হ'ব পাৰে দেই হোৱা নিচিনা লাগিছে The committee consists of 6 members with the governor of Reserve Bank of India acting as the ex officio chairman 6 member থাকে governor of RBI to ex officio chairman থাকে monetary policy committee the decisions of the monetary policy committee are binding on the RBI ito hobo 2 and 3 to correct hobo kintu 1 to he statutory because under the Reserve Bank of India Act hobo he Reserve Bank India role statutory body hobo so D hobo correct answer so D correct answer higel at our was Monetary Policy Committee was established to bring transparency and accountability in place in the policy interest policy interest or repo rate. It has 3 members from RBI and 3 appointed by the central government to RBI 3 member central government 3 member mane record na the governor has casting vote in case of a tie at the 25 question in the context of Indian freedom struggle the Usha Mehta is well known for running an underground radio during Quit India movement to have like leading a contingent of the Indian National Army as then the draft of the objectives at the A yes A Usha Mehta radio communication or underground look Usha Mehta is famous for organizing the Secret Congress Radio and underground radio station that functioned during the Quit India movement 1942 to disseminate information where the British had censored the press. 26, question number 26, with reference to the Bodoland Territorial Region, BTR, consider the following statements. It is governed under the provisions of the 6th Schedule and of the Indian Constitution. It is governed under the provisions of the 6th Schedule of the Indian Constitution. Following administrative reinstatements, it currently comprises 5 districts: Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Udalguri, and Tamilpur. Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Udalguri, and Tamilpur. Pass. What of them are correct? See. BTR 2020 Bodo Accord. That is 6th Schedule Autonomous and 2023-24 Tamilpur was established, reinstated. Camera. Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Udalguri. Yes. 5th district alongside the original 4 to original to agate get asle Kokrajhar, Chirang, Baksa, Udalguri aru Tamilpur to newly mane bonaise aru 23-24 include hoise 27 the term event horizon often in the news is associated with event horizon news dekha pa jai to ki holot the point of no return around the black hole event horizon black hole no return the boundary of a newly formed tectonic plate or boundary event horizon the maximum limit of carbon emissions of a country maximum limit no hai the final stage of a viral mutation নাজানো দেই newly formed tectonic plate এটাতো নতুন টেকটনিক প্লেট গঠন হোৱাটো ইভেন্ট হৰাইজন কয় নেকি হ'ব পাৰে দেই limit of carbon emissions of a country I don't know এইটো বিটোৱে হ'ব লাগে দেই এইটোৱে হয় এইটো the point of no return around a black hole. Return around the black hole. Event horizon homale আৰু return হ'ব নোৱাৰে. ক'ত যায় ক'ত নাযায় ক'ব নোৱাৰে ন. The black hole to এইটো particle jet আছে এইটো কি photon ring to event horizon to singularity কি বস্তু এইবিলাক explanation খিনি অলপ পঢ়ো দিয়ক the event horizon is the boundary surrounding a black hole beyond to which nothing not even light can escape the gravitational pull light to escape কৰিব নোৱাৰে তাৰ মানে যেটো আকৰ্ষণ gravitational হলে মাধ্যাকৰ্ষণ পুলৰ কাৰণে it was famously imagined for the first time by the event horizon telescope বড় আৱিষ্কাৰ কৰা হৈছিল ন ইমেজ তাৰ কাৰণে event horizon কাৰণে যেটোৰ কাৰণে ব্ল্যাক হোলত গৈ কিনে নো ৰিটাৰ্ণ হেৰি হৈ যায় আৰু না around the black hole. Okay, 28th question regarding the governor of state in India. Consider the following statements. The same person can be appointed as governor for 2 or more states. Oh, yes. দুটা তিনিটা ষ্টেটৰ গভৰ্ণৰ হ'ব পাৰে নেকি? The governor holds office during the pleasure of the president. Yes, that is correct. The constitution plays governor বিষয় ন the same person can be appointed as governor for 2 or more states এটো হয় হ'ব লাগে তো হয়তো the constitution lays down the grounds upon which governor may be removed by the president. The constitution lays down the grounds upon which a governor may be removed by the president. এটো হয় গতিকেটা হ'ব লাগে এইটো কনষ্টিটিউশ্যনত কোনো মানে গভৰ্ণৰক মানে যিটো ৰিমুভ কৰাৰ হেৰিটো কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন সংবিধানত কোনো লিখা নাই প্ৰেচিডেণ্ট যে ৰিমুভ কৰিব পাৰে গভৰ্ণৰক এইটো লিখা নাই so 1 and 2 are correct only. System one is correct. 7th amendment 1956 মানে amendment কৰিছিলে কোনটো এইটো গভৰ্ণৰ দুটা তিনিটা ষ্টেটত মানে গভৰ্ণৰশ্বিপ কৰিব পাৰে আৰ্টিকল 156 statement লেখা আছিলে the governor holds office during pleasure of president 156 আৰু constitution doesn't lay down any specific grounds for removal of the governor গভৰ্ণমেণ্টক ৰিমুভ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে কনষ্টিটিউশ্যন এনেকৈ স্পেচিফিক একো লিখা নাই বুলি কৈছে Okay, Lasit Borphukan is celebrated for his victory in the Battle of Saraighat. In which year was this battle fought? To 1671A. 1671B. B is the correct answer. Saraighat, Brahmaputra River near Saraighat, near Guwahati. The Ahom army led by Lasit Borphukan decisively defeated Mughal army led by Raja Ram Singh. Ram Singh asile Mughal army to defeat কৰিছিল Lasit Borphukane. Which of the following reports is not published by the World Bank? World Bank দ্বাৰা কোনটো report publish কৰা নহয় World Development Report, Global Economic Prospects and World Economic Outlook, Logistics Performance Index. It হ'ব Logistic Performance Index হ'ব 30 is CO World Economic Outlook নহয় বহুত কথাই আছে World Bank কি কৰে World Development Report বনাই World Economic Prospect বনাই Logistics Performance Index বনাই to World Economic Outlook to World Bank নবনাই Okay. The World Economic Outlook is published by the International Monetary Fund. World Economic Outlook to International Monetary Fund. The World Bank publishes the World Development Report, Global Economic Prospects, and the Logistics Performance Index. Question number 31. Consider the following statements regarding the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD. It was established on the recommendations of the B. Sivaraman Committee. It provides direct credit to farmers for seasonal agricultural operations. Direct credit farmers for ito hoy. It serves as an apex financing body for the institutions providing investment and production credit for promoting various development activities in rural areas. Ito correct. It was established on the recommendations of the NABARD recommendation to 2 and 3 to correct hoy. But 1 2 hoy no. B. Sivaraman Committee. How about late ধৰিলৈছো D ধৰিছো D to correct incorrect হয় দেখোন. It provides direct credit to farmers for seasonal agriculture. Direct credit নিদিয়ে 1 and 3 are correct. 2 হে wrong হয়. B. শিৱৰামন কমিটিৰ দ্বাৰা গঠন কৰা হৈছিলে. Number 1982 হৈছিলে established incorrect because NABARD does not provide direct credit to farmers. NABARD direct credit নকৰে. কিবা আছে. Provides refinance to the state cooperative banks, regional rural banks, and other financial institutions that then lend to farmers. 32. Question number 32. With reference to Vande Bharat mission often seen in the news, which of the following is correct? Vande Bharat mission, or it is a mission to replace all existing trains with semi-high speed trains by 2030. 2030 mission to nationality. It was a massive repatriation operation by the Indian government to bring back stranded Indians from foreign destinations ruling the COVID-19 pandemic. Massive repatriation operation Indian government to bring back stranded Indians from foreign destinations. Doesn't know. Vande Bharat mission ito নহয়. It was a program to promote indigenous manufacturing, defense equipment নহয়. It was and provide clean water, drinking water ito নহয়. Ito A to correct হয়. A to correct হয়. A to correct নহয়. Ito B to আছিলে no. যেতিয়া COVID-19 হৈছিলে সেই পেইণ্টিং আউট যেটো অপাৰেশ্যন আছিলে no. Stranded Indians from foreign destinations বহুত জাগাৰ বেলেগ জাগাৰ পৰা COVID-19ত বেলেগ বিদেশত থকা মানুহবিলাকক ৰিটাৰ্ণ কৰিছিলে ন. এইটোহে আছিলে. Okay. The Vande Bharat mission was launched in 2020 to bring home Indian citizens stranded abroad due to the travel restrictions imposed worldwide during COVID-19 pandemic. It was one of the largest evacuation exercises in history. Okay, which of the following pairs of ocean currents and their nature are correctly matched? Ocean current or nature. Canary current called Kuroshio current. Benguela current, and Kuroshio current due to Gulf Stream 2 warm হ'ব লাগে দেই. Estimates are correct question no. 4 to correct হয়. Given are correct. Kuroshio current to warm আছিল নে cold আছিল? Current Peru. cold আছিলে so 2 warm হ'ব 2 3 4 কাপ ষ্ট্ৰীমটোতো গৰমে হ'ব 4টোতো ৱাৰ্মে হ'ব 4টো ক'ত কাঢ়ি আছে 2 and 4 2 and 4 2 and 4 হ'ব B হ'ব C হয় 1 to 4 1 to 4 Canary current সেইটো cold হয় Kuroshio current warm হয় and Gulf Stream warm হয় Gulf Stream to warm is in and 1 to 4 Kuroshio current to warm হয় Canary current to cold হয় Benguela current to cold হয় Benguela current is cold current flowing along the western coast of Africa or Benguela current to western African coastal হয় Canary is cold Canary and Benguela cold there is North Atlantic হয় Kuroshio is warm North Pacific Kuroshio current and the Gulf Stream is warm North Atlantic current Gulf Stream warm North Atlantic current regarding the directive principles of state policy consider following statements they are fundamental in the governance of country directive principles of state country coordinate হয় they are aimed at establishing social and economic democracy in India directive principles of state policy to এনেকে democracy লগত social and economic democracy হ'ব পাৰে the courts cannot use directive principles of state policy to determine the constitutional validity of any law yes অলপ hard হয় বস্তুখিনি the PSP are fundamental in governance of the country fundamental মৌলিক হয় the PSP টো fundamental টো নহয় fundamental নহ'ব এইটো 1 2 নহ'ব 2 and 3 should be correct they are 2 and 3 that is B oh sorry yeah 1 or 2 here হয় correct so the PSP is fundamental in governance of the country they are aimed at establishing social and economic democracy in India social and economic democracy established fundamental PSP and the courts cannot can use the PSP to determine the constitutional validity of any law okay the PSP it may consider such law to be reasonable in relation to Article 14 or 19 or right to equality herit মানে আহি যায় আৰু ন the PSP to Article 14 to 19 the Ornoda scheme a flagship program of the Assam government primarily focuses on providing free electricity নহয় the direct benefit transfer when low income families nutrition এইটো হয় এতে B2 হয় yes with reference to the Harappan civilization consider the following statements the Harappans were the first to produce cotton in the world cotton আবিষ্কাৰ কৰিছিল ন yes iron was extensively used in iron use কৰা নাছিলে Lothal served as a measure to get 1 and 3 are correct 1 and 3 are that is B is correct answer Harappan is the bronzes বুলি কোৱা হৈছিলে they didn't use iron introduced in India much later during Vedic period around 1000 BC Vedic period হে iron মানে হেৰি হৈছিলে বহুত পিছত which of the following is the correct sequence of the rivers from west to east মানে rivers এটাতো এতনাখনো পাইছিলো west to east rivers কি মানে সনকোষটো আগত হ'ব প্ৰথমতে সনকোষ আগত মানস হ'ব বৰ নদী ধনচিৰি ধনচিৰি এইটোৱে হ'ব, বিয়ে হ'ব। চ' বি সনকোচ মানস বৰ্ণালী ধনচিৰি এইটোৱে হ'ব। Consider the following statements about the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Cake. The cake is appointed by the President of India by warrant under his hand and seal. Cake President appoint Kore by warrant under his hand and seal. Oh, correct. One statement: the cake can be removed from office in a manner similar to judge of the Supreme Court. Cake to judge Supreme Court judge or to remove korbo pari. Pari kisani ro sabro kiyo. The cake is eligible for further office under the Government of India after his retirement. Ito to no 3 to no 1 and 2 are correct. Ito correct. Yes. To joagali paisilo ito. The bio-oxygen demand. Bio-oxygen demand is standard criterion for maximum oxygen levels in high altitude regions. Bio-oxygen demand. Oxygen level maximum. Measuring oxygen level in high altitude regions. Bio-oxygen demand. Computing oxygen deficiency in human blood. Ito hobo. Polluting assay in aquatic ecosystems. SSA in the photosynthesis rate in tropical forests. Ito to no ito to biye hobo. CA polluting assay in aquatic ecosystems. Bio-oxygen demand. Bio-oxygen demand is the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by aerobic biological organisms to break down organic material present in a given water sample. A higher bio-oxygen demand value indicates that the water is more polluted. A higher bio-oxygen demand value indicates that the water is more polluted. Higher organic load আছে demand কৰে ন oxygen বেছিকৈ মানে oxygen লাগে আৰু ন ভাল কৰিবৰ কাৰণে নিচিনা আৰু কি কথা Pioli Fukon and Juram Tulia Borua were the first martyrs of Assam in the struggle against the British rule. Pioli Fukon and Juram Tulia Borua were hanged in 1830 for their involvement in 1830 হেৰি কৈছে কিহত জড়িত আছিলে চিপাহী মতনি দ্য ৰিভল্ট অফ কমথৰ কৌৰৰ ৰিভল্টত আছিলে দ্য বেটল অফ ইটাখলি নন কপাৰেশ্যন মুভমেণ্ট তেতিয়াতো নাছিলে হোৱা 1830ত ক'ত নাছিলে গমধৰ কৌৰৰ ৰিভল্টতে হ'ব সেইটোৱে হ'ব বিয়ে হ'ব চিপাহী মতনিতো নহয় বেটল অফ ইটাখলিও নহয় so B 4S B yes B তৃতীয় বিয়ান্তে 1826 Comtor Corps led the first organized revolt against the British in 1828 Comtor Corps মানে হেৰি কৰিছিলে ন কিবা কয় ৰিভল্ট হেৰি কৰিছিলে Pioli Fukon and Juram Tulia Borua were key associates the helper আছিলে মানে partner আছিলে they were sentenced to death and hanged in 1820 এটা হৈছিলে গমধৰ ৰিভল্ট and 1830 মানে hang কৰিছিলে and for their attempt to overthrow British rule and restore the Ahomda monarchy এটা attempt কৰিছিলে না monarchy establish কৰিবৰ কাৰণে with reference to the ancient history of Assam, the Nidhanpur copper plate inscription belongs to which of the following? Dynasties Nidhanpur copper inscription itu Nidhanpur copper inscription itu to Salstambo dynasty হ'ব লাগে Salstambo dynasty হ'ব লাগে B হ'ব লাগে Nidhanpur copper inscription itu Burman dynasty আছিলে okay Burman dynasty the Nidhanpur copper plate inscription was issued by Bhaskar Burman on Nidhanpur copper Burman dynasty Bhaskar Bormanne কৰিছিলে এটা most illustrious king of Burman dynasty of Kamrupa. These plates are significant because they provide details about the land grants made to Brahmins and shed light on the socio-political structure of 7th century Assam. 7th century Assam. অসমৰ 7th century আসামৰ কৰিছিলে ন 7th century or 17th century ভাস্কৰ বৰ্মন 7th century হয় ভাস্কৰ বৰ্মন ভাস্কৰ বৰ্মনৰ দিনত বৰ্মন ডাইনেষ্টি হয় It tells about the land grants made to Brahmins. Translated on the socio-political. Nidhanpur copper plate Burman Bhaskar Burman কৰিছিলে Consider the full statements regarding global warming potential. Global warming potential is a measure of how much energy the emissions of 1 ton of a gas will absorb over a given period of time relative to the emissions of 1 ton of carbon dioxide. Methane CH4 has a higher global warming potential than carbon dioxide over a 100 period. এইটোতো মিছা কথা মিথেনৰ 12 বছৰতে নোহোৱা হৈ যায় যিটো এমিশন হেৰি কম্পেটিবিলিটি নোহোৱা হৈ যায় কিন্তু কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইডৰ এইটো মিছা কথা ছেকেণ্ডটো কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইডৰ 100 বছৰলৈকে থাকে বহুত বাঢ়ি যাব মিথেনটো ৰিনিউ হৈ থাকিব মানে কিন্তু কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইডটো থাকিবই emission কিবা কয় sulfur hexafluoride has one of the highest among greenhouse gases sulfur hexafluoride এইটো হয় নেকি নাজানো দেই but 2 is wrong which of the estimates are correct কোনকেইটা কাৰেক্ট কৈছে ন 1 আৰু 2 এইটো নহ'ব so এইটোৱে C is correct D টো কেনেকৈ correct হ'ল 1, 2, 3, all of them are correct. Global warming potential. The methane has a higher global warming potential than carbon dioxide over a 100-year period. এইটোতো হ'বই নোৱাৰে কিয় এনেকৈ দিছে all statements are correct মিথেনৰ বেছি হয় নেকি এইটো হ'ব নোৱাৰে এইটো চাব লাগিব দেই Sorry. কিমান আছিলে এইটো আছিলে ন এইটো মই চাব লাগিব ভালকে আকৌ এবাৰ ইথেনতে 12 বছৰলৈকে থাকে যিটো কাৰ্বন গ্লোবেল ৱাৰ্মিং হেৰিটো potential and carbon dioxide 100 years অতহে এক হয় সেকেন্ডটো ৰং হ'ব লাগিছিলে সেকেন্ডটো ৰং দিয়া নাই all statements are correct carbon dioxide is baseline with methane has approximately 20 to 36 per 100 years SF6 into Kesley sulfur hexafluoride SF6 used in electrical grids has a global product of about 23,500 making it extremely potent it was sulfur hexafluoride SF6 highest মানে global warming potentiality আছে sulfur hexafluoride the methane has a global warming potential of approximately 20 to 36 over 100 years কিন্তু কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইডৰটো 100 থাকিব গতিকে কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইডৰ বেছি হয় তো হায়াৰ বুলি কৈছে মিথেনৰ হায়াৰ এনে হায়াৰ হয় কিন্তু শ্বৰ্ট টাৰ্মত, কিন্তু লং টাৰ্মততো নহয়। এইটো আপুনি ভুল হৈছিলে, এইটো এয়ে হ'ব, বিয়ে হ'ব। Okay, which of the following is the powers of the Supreme Court of India? Original jurisdiction in disputes between the government of India and one or more states. Advisory jurisdiction on a question of law or fact of public importance repeated by the President. Power to review its own jurisdiction or orders. Supreme Court powers. Supreme Court power original jurisdiction in disputes between the government of India or more states. Advisory jurisdiction on a question of law or fact of public importance repeated by the President. Power to review its own judgment or order. I don't know whether D is correct. All of them are correct. All powers of the Supreme Court original jurisdiction is under Article 131. Advisory jurisdiction is under 143, and the power of review, that is Article 137. Question 44. In the context of Assamese literature, who is known as the Lakshminath Besbarua of the modern era for his contribution to the short story and satirical genre? Lakshminath Besbarua বুলি কোৱা হয় অসমীয়া লিটাৰেচাৰত হোমেন বৰগোহাঁই, মামণি ৰয়ছম গোস্বামী, লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱা, ৰাজৰ্ষি বীৰেন্দ্ৰ কুমাৰ। এই চিয়ে হ'ব, লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱা। কেনেকুৱাকৈ দিছে, চিয়ে হ'ব। Explanation of why the question asks for the Besbarua of the modern era. It is important to Lakshminath Besbarua himself is the pioneer of modern Assamese literature, Jonaki era. He is known as Rasarsi or Rohoras কৈছিলে ন? Rasarsi, the king of with humor and yes, wrote the state anthem over upon this. Yes, this is Rohoras to Rasarsi. 45. Consider the full statements about the equatorial low pressure belt. Equatorial low pressure belt, ELPB. Equatorial low pressure belt doldrums. Equatorial low pressure belts. Okay. It extends from the equator to 5 degree north, that is 5 degree south latitudes. It is characterized by intense heating, low pressure, and the horizontal winds of high velocity. It is a zone of convergence for the trade winds. Low pressure belts, convergence of trade winds. Equatorial low pressure belts to trade wind হয় নেকি? কোনকেইটা কাৰেক্ট আছে ন? 5 degree north and 5 degree south. এইটো হয়. It is characteristic by intense heating, low pressure, horizontal winds of high velocity. Extremely low pressure, I don't know. It is a zone of convergence for trying to win. 1 and 3 correct asile niki? 1 and 3 correct hoy. 1 and 3 correct hoy. Extends from the equator 5 degrees south north latitudes. It's characterized by intense heating, low pressure, and the horizontal winds of high velocity. To convergence no hai. Trade wind no hai. Doldrums are characterized by calm conditions or very light variable winds, not high velocity horizontal winds. The air primarily moves vertically convection due to intense heat. The Battle of Itakuli, 1682 Battle of Itakuli is significant in Assam history because it marked first entry of Mughals in Assam. Battle of Itakuli first Mughal entry হৈছিলে নেকি? সেইখিনি সময়তে হৈছিলে হয়তো হ'লে. It resulted in the final expulsion of Mughals from the Ahom kingdom up to the Manas River. Battle of Itakuli last হৈছিলে নেকি? Last নহয়. It resulted in the final expulsion of Mughals Ahom kingdom up to the Manas. It was the battle where Lasit Borfukan was murdered. এইটোতো নহয়, চিটো নহয়, ডিটো নহয়, বিটো হ'ব নালাগে. Mughals into Assam. It led the signing of the Treaty of Khilazari Khat. Khilazari Khat Itakuli যুদ্ধৰ কাৰণে হৈছিল নেকি? নহয়. It marked the entry of Mughals. It resulted in the final expulsion of Mughals. No, one is the correct one. 46. তাতকৈ আগতে আছিলে. Resulted the final expulsion of Mughals from Ahom kingdom up to the Manas River. Manas River লৈকে হেৰি কৰিছিলে মোগলবিলাকক. Battle of Itakuli 1682 was the final war between the Ahoms and the Mughals during the reign of Gadadhar Singha. The Ahoms decisively defeated the Mughals and pushed the boundary of the Ahom kingdom to the Manas River, which named the border. British arrived. British ahaleke Manas River to Ahom Mughal border হৈছিলে. With reference to Financial Emergency Article 360 in India, consider the full statements. The proclamation of financial emergency must be approved by both houses of Parliament within 2 months. Once approved, it continues indefinitely until it is revoked. It has been declared in India only once during the 1991 balance of payments crisis, which is the current financial emergency. Proclamation of financial emergency must be approved by both houses. Financial emergency হ'ব লাগিব এইটো within 2 months. Okay. Once approved, it continues indefinitely. It continues indefinitely until it is revoked. Okay. It has been declared in India only once during the 1991 financial emergency হৈছিলে নেকি? Financial emergency হোৱা নাছিলে 1991 LPG reform হে আনিছিলে. 1 and 2 are correct. A হ'ব এইটো. Yes, is the correct statement. Expansion and 2 are correct. Statement is incorrect. Financial emergency was never been declared in India to date, despite the economic crisis. Of 1991. 1991 economic crisis হৈছিলে সেইকাৰণে LPG আনিছিলে, but financial emergency হোৱা নাছিলে. And it was financial emergency must be দুটা হাউচৰ হেৰি লাগে within 2 months. Once it revoked আৰু এবাৰ হ'লে হৈয়ে থাকে মানে. The term sixth mass extinction or Anthropocene extinction frequently mentioned in the news refers to sixth mass extinction, Anthropocene extinction. The extinction of dinosaurs due to an asteroid impact. It হ'ব লাগে the ongoing extinction of species primarily due to human activities. As predicted extinction event caused by reversal at magnetic faults, the loss of biodiversity due to the last ices. এইটো A হ'ব লাগে. Sorry, B has the sixth mass extinction, ongoing extinction of species primarily due to human activities. Sixth mass extinction, the ongoing extinction of species. বৰ্তমান সময়ত যেতিয়া বহুত ধৰণৰ স্পেচিছবিলাক নোহোৱা হৈ যাব লাগিছে হিউমেন এক্টিভিটিছৰ কাৰণে, এইটোৱে ছিক্সথ মাছ এক্সটিংশ্যন বুলি কোৱা হয়। এন্থ্ৰপ'চিন এক্সটিংশ্যন, এন্থ্ৰপ'চিনছ মিনছ এন্থ্ৰপ' মিন মানুহে সৃষ্টি কৰা, এক্সটিংশ্যন কাৰেক্ট এনচাৰ আছিলে ন। Sentence are good that we are currently in the midst of a sixth mass extinction characterized by the rapid loss of species 100 to 1000 times higher than natural background rates caused by habitat destruction, climate change, and pollution. Yes, human beings are the worst creatures in the world. Which of the following constitutional bodies is responsible for the delimitation of constituencies in India? The following constituencies is responsible, constitutional bodies responsible for delimitation of constituencies in India. Election Commission of India, Delimitation Commission. Delimitation Commission of of course, see. Delimitation Commission working. Election Commission responsible for redrawing and the boundaries of Lok Sabha and state assembly seats based on the recent census to ensure equal representation. The Dihingpatka region in Assam is often referred to as the Amazon of the East. Yes, that is 1A. Evergreen rainforest as a rich biodiversity team has constituted a wildcat species in the world. Wildcat বহুত আছে, 7টা প্ৰকাৰৰ wildcat থাকে ন, 7টা নে 8টা প্ৰকাৰৰ 7 wildcat species are found in Dihingpatka Wildlife Sanctuary. Dihingpatkaটো Wildlife Sanctuary National Park হয়। Consider full statements regarding the small finance banks as a base in India. They're established, small finance banks are established with the objective of furthering financial inclusion by providing credit to small business units and micro industries. Yes, this is correct. They are required to extend 75% of their adjusted net bank credit to these sectors eligible for classification as priority sector lending. To extend 75% of their adjusted net bank credit. I don't know. They cannot engage in the distribution of mutual funds or insurance products. Mutual fund. Small finance banks. Insurance products whatever নোৱাৰে নেকি? I don't know. 1 to 2 correct হয়. 1 and 2 are correct, I guess. It over 1 and 2. Yes, it is correct. They have a higher PSL. Look at that is PSL মানে কি আছিলে ন? That's priority sector lending. Okay, 52. With reference to the discovery of Assam, the Pathurghat uprising 1894 is primarily known for the protest against the introduction of English education. No, the rebellion of tea garden. Don't know why. The peasant protest against the enhancement of the land revenue. It was no kingdoms in dance. That is C. 52C. Yes. Very yes. The Pathurghat uprising. জালুবানা বিলাকক আছাম বুলি কোৱা হৈছিলে, কিন্তু 18 কিমানত আছিলে? Sorry, 1894 আছিলে। পেজেণ্টবিলাকক টেক্স ইনক্ৰিজ কৰিছিলে, লেণ্ড ৰেভিনিউ টেক্স। পুলিচ অপেন ফায়াৰ্ড। Which of the following is the correct order of the geological time scale? Geological time scale from the longest division to the shortest. Geological time scale. Ion era period epoch. Epoch. Itu ki longest to shortest na, longest division to shortest. Era. Era to হল এটা medieval era এনেকা ধৰণৰ ন epoch তো কি আছিলে 10 বছৰ 20 বছৰ পিৰিয়ড কি পিৰিয়ড আছিল জুৰাছিক পিৰিয়ড নেকি এৰাটো পিছত হ'ব এৰাৰ পিছত পিৰিয়ডৰ পিছত এৰা পিৰিয়ডটো epoch এন period epoch ion era period এৰাটো প্ৰথমতে হ'ব দেই এৰাটো প্ৰথমতে হ'ব লাগে এটা বি হ'ব লাগে বি সৰি এইটো ইনকাৰেক্ট হৈ গ'ল তাৰ মানে কি the zoological time scale is divided into units of varying lengths. The hierarchy is aeon largest, which is divided into eras. Aeon bilagok eras divide kora hai, which are further divided into periods. So era bilagok period divide kora. And yes, era bilagok period divide kora. নহ'লে কি হ'ল তেতিয়াহ'লে বুজি নাপালোঁ এইটো ফৰ্মেশ্যনত এইটো কেনেকৈ দিলে period and further eras are divided into periods and finally into epochs to shortest হয় নেকি খেলি মেলি যেন লাগি আছে দেই medieval era তো period থাকিব ন প্ৰথম era period one to ion to মানে ঠিক আছে it's okay ফাৰ্ষ্ট ইয়নক এৰাত ডিভাইড কৰে তাৰপিছত এৰাটো পিৰিয়ডত ডিভাইড কৰাৰ পিছত epoch okay consider the following statements regarding the uniform civil code 44 article number is the principle of state policy part 4 of the constitution article 44 part 4 yes this is correct it is legally enforceable by the courts of law ethical uniform civil code to enforceable হয় না নহয় হয় Goa is the only state in India that is a version of uniform civil code in the form of the Portuguese civil code Goa is the only state in India that is a version of uniform civil code in the form of the Portuguese all of these are correct only 1 and 3 are correct legally enforceable নহয় by the courts of law uniform civil code correct question no 1 and 3 are correct only 1 and 3 are correct no the space are non-justiciable non-justiciable asile নহয় মানে এনফোর্স করব নোৱাৰে জাস্টিস মানে এনফোর্স করব নোৱাৰে by court meaning they are not legally enforceable by the courts হয়তো Goa has continued with Portuguese civil code of 1867 Portuguese civil code 1867 ৰ পৰা মানে কন্টিনিউ কৰি আছে with which applies to all regardless of religion Goa আগৰ পৰাই মানে ইউনিফৰ্ম চিভিল কোড চলি আছে বঢ়িয়া এনেকৈ হ'ব লাগে দেই in the context of environment and ecology the term ecoton refers to environment ecology ecoton means a long zone of high pollution between two industrial areas the transition area between two biological communities or ecosystems the deepest part of an ocean the peak of a mountain where a zone of high pollution Ekoton hobo nore to B hobo. Yes, B. Expansion in ekoton is a junction or transition or area between two diverse ecosystems, such as marshland between dry land and water. Marshland between dry land and water. Yes, marshland between both sides. Yeah, has some what call similarity like that. Separation means in the center kind of, or forest edge between forest and grassland. Those are ecotone. It often contains species transition is there, no? Many both such species from both communities and sometimes species not found in the either eagle edge effect. Found in, yes. Regarding the Ahom administration, the officer Borbora was the head of Borbora. Borbora, the military forces in Upper Assam. The executive and judicial administration. The reason is to collaborate. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Intelligence. The naval fleet. Ahom Kingdom, ito na kayo. Military forces in Upper Assam. Military force hoy na no reason. Executive and judicial. Ito BA hobo. Yes, BA hobo B. Borbora was a position created by King Pratap Singha. It was the chief executive officer, and also acted as a judge, looking after the administration of the territory east of Kulebur. There was not under the direct jurisdiction of the Borgohai and Buragohar under the jurisdiction of Noe Borbora to extra. The chief executive officer and acting as a judge. We saw the following features of the Indian Constitution was borrowed from the Canadian Constitution. Canada procedure established by law. Federation with a strong center. Federation with a strong center. Ito ko pa day. Concurrent list. Another no. Suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. Ito no. Ito federation with strong center. Ito ko lagi day. Yes, B. Federation with a strong center. B. The concept of a federation with a strong center, the vesting of judiciary powers in the center, and the appointment of state governors by the center were borrowed from Canada. Federation with a strong center, vesting residuary powers in center, and the appointment of state governors by the center. Procedure established by law is Japanese. Procedure established by law is brought from Japan. Procedure established by law Japan. That is concurrent leases from Australia. And emergency provisions are German Weimar Constitution. Concurrent list to West Australian and emergency provisions in German, and procedure established by law, that is Japanese. Concurrent list to Australian federation with a strong center, that is from what call Canada, and residuary powers in the center, Canada, and the appointment of state governors by the center, that is also brought from Canada. The Kushinagar site recently in the news for its international airport is associated with which event? Gotama Buddha. Kushinagar came to no? But enlightenment caught by but Goya. First sermon Mahaparai. First sermon ko dasile. First sermon Kushinagar asile ne. Mahaparinirvana asile. Ene pahari saure. Mane je bostu toke. Kushinagar बहुत गया थे पैसे लेने के sermon तो enlightenment तो बहुत गया लंबिनी part हुईसिले बहुत गया तो Kushinagar that is Mahaparinirvana dead हुईसिले D. Uttar Pradesh, Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh is where Gudnabudha attended Mahaparinirvana, yes, but was Lumbini enlightenment in Bodhgaya, and first sermon was, and that is Sarnath, yes, very nicely given in here. with reference to total fertility rate, consider following statements. Total fertility rates refers to the average number of children that would be born to a woman during her lifetime. The replacement level fertility is generally considered to be 2 is to 1. According to NFSHS 5, India's overall total fertility rate has fallen between the replacement level. India total fertility rate record बारिश है refers to the average number of children that be born to a woman during এইটোৱে হ'ব 1 2 হ'ব 1 আৰু 1 to replacement level of fertility is generally considered the replacement level fertility. I don't know that one, but 1 and 2 is correct. 1 and 2 are correct. Below the replacement level. 1 and 2 are correct over there. All of them are correct. According to 5, India's overall fertility rate is fallen below the replacement level of Turkey. Opare de to incorrect hole. Correct placement that is ensure to ensure a stable population over generations as per the stable হৈছে ন অলপ আগতকে বাকী হয় as per the National Family Health Service. India's total fertility rate reached 2.0, indicating a future decline in population growth. Population growth to লাহেকে decline হ'ব লাগিব ন so মানুহবিলাকে অলপ শিক্ষিত হৈছে population অলপ কমকৈ দিয়ে আৰু এতিয়া but population তথাপি বাঢ়ি আছে. Which of the following hills of Assam is famous for the Zatinga but suicide phenomenon or কাৰণে Karbi Hills that is not Kasar Hills Dima so it B that is B okay Dima so not Kasar Hills that is everyone knows. In the monsoon and lights birds are attracted to lights during foggy moonless nights in light monsoon and grass often are being killed by local villagers for food. Suicide to nokore they attract হোৱাৰ পিছত local villagers বিলাকে মাৰি খায় তাকে suicide বুলি কয় মৰিবলৈ আহে এনেকুৱা নিচিনা হয় আৰু. With reference to judicial activism in India, consider the following statements. The concept is judicial activism. The concept is closely related to the concept of public interest litigation. Judicial activism, public interest litigation, yes, that is. It originated and developed in the United Kingdom and was later adopted by the Indian judiciary. Judicial activism in the United Kingdom or Australia. It refers to the proactive role played by the judiciary in the protection of the rights of citizens. I don't know this one. C is the correct answer. 1 and 3 are correct. 2 is incorrect. The concept is closely related to the public interest litigation or law jurito, and 2 is not correct. It originated the United Kingdom of Honestly. It refers to the proactive role played by the judiciary in the protection of the rights of citizen. Yes. 1 and 3 are correct. 2 is incorrect because the concept of judicial activism was not developed in USA, not in UK. Okay. 62 question number regarding the Ahom-Mughal conflict. The Treaty of Khilazari-Khat 1663 was signed following which invasion? Khilazari-Khat kon invasion episode hoisile 1663 Mir Jumla Ram Singh Mansur Khan Turuk Khan to Mir Jumla Khilajari Khatur Ramsington নহয় মিৰ্জুমলা মনসুৰ খান হ'ব লাগে দেই মনসুৰ খান ৰামসিংটোতো নহয় ৰ 1671 আছিলে ৰামসিং আৰু লাচিত মিৰ্জুমলা ইনভেশন অফ মিৰ্জুমলা মনসুৰ খান তুৰ্বক খান মিৰ্জুমলা হ'ব হয় so মিৰ্জুমলা The Treaty of the Khilajari Ghat was signed in 1663 between the Ahom King Jeta Singha asile সময়ত 1663 Khilajari Ghat Mughal Empire following the successful invasion of Mir Jumla the Ahams had to shed last territories including Guwahati and Biahibi were indemnity Ahom King Jeta Singha হাৰিছিলে গুৱাহাটী এৰি দিব লগা হৈছিলে আৰু যুদ্ধৰ খৰচো দিব লগা হৈছিলে consider following statements regarding oceanic trenches সাগৰৰ যিটো দ খাত থাকে খাল লিংকাৰ কি they are the deepest parts of the ocean floors yes they are formed due to the divergence of two oceanic plates divergence হলেতো পাহাৰহে হয় এটো নহয় it is negative and the Marine Trench is the deepest trench in the world yes that is correct that is located in Pacific Ocean yes 1 and 3 are correct that is B yes B is the correct answer at 64 in the context of history of science in India the Bakhsali manuscript is associated with Bakhsali manuscript that is Ayurvedic medicine, mathematics, and metallurgical techniques, astronomical observations. Bakhsali manuscript, Ayurvedic medicine, mathematics, metallurgical techniques, astronomical observations. I don't know they. To Bakhsali to kihor bir লগত জড়িত mathematics লগত জড়িত history of science in India that is Bakhsali manuscript that is associated with mathematics okay the Bakhsali manuscript is an ancient Indian mathematical manuscript written on Birch bark কাছৰ ছালত লিখিছিলে ন it is famous for containing the mathematical earliest recorded use of simple zero and very complex algebraic problems earliest recorded use of zero symbol আৰ্যভট্ট যেতিয়া zero আৰ্যভট্টৰ জিৰোটো তাতে প্ৰথম লেখা দেখা গৈছিলে বাকছালী manuscript that is mathematical with reference to the National Food Security Act NFS and National Food Security Act 2013 consider following statements it provides for coverage of up to 70% of rural population and up to 50% of the urban population National Food Security Act 75 rural and 50% urban population the eldest woman of the household of age 18 years or above shall be the head of the household for the purpose of the issue ration cards women মাত্ৰ হয় নেকি women মাত্ৰ নহয় এইটো নহয় পুৰুষতো হ'ব পাৰে ৰেশন কাৰ্ড হোল্ডাৰ স্যাৰ পুৰুষ নাথাকে women নাথাকে pregnant women and lactating mothers are shall be the হ'ব পাৰে এইটো only বুলি দিয়া নাই হয়তো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব pregnant women and lactating mothers are entitled to be to a maternity benefit of not less than 6,000 rupees এইটো নেশ্যনেল ফুড ছিকিউৰিটি এক্টৰ যাৰা হয়নে নহয় হ'ব পাৰে দে অনাবাদৰ জৰিয়তে 2,000 কোটি টকা lactating and pregnant women to entry to কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে to 1 to নহ'ব দেই মানে এইখিনি মাত্ৰ নহ'ব to entry হ'ব লাগে B হ'ব লাগে Okay, D হয় গোটেইখিনি কাৰেক্ট হয়। It provides for coverage of up to 75% of rural population, 75, urban population that is 50%. Okay. The 66, which of the following constitutional provisions empowers the governor of Assam to modify or annual acts of parliament or the state legislature in their application to autonomous districts? Which of the following constitutional provisions empowers the governor of Assam to modify or annual acts of parliament or the state legislature to autonomous districts? Autonomous district okay, 60 level 71A 71A fifth schedule আছে 6th schedule আছে 71 আৰ্টিকেল 242 এইটোতো নহয় যেনিবা আসামৰ বিষয়টো এটো কি আছে empowers the governor of Assam to modify annual acts গভৰ্ণৰৰ বিষয় আছে ন parliament or the state legislature in their application to autonomous district গভৰ্ণৰে কোনকেইটা হেৰি কৰিব পাৰে ন 6 schedule ভিতৰত আছে আৰ্টিকেল 171 স্পেচিফিকেলি আছে এতে হ'ব সিটো হ'ব সি নহয় বি বিত আছে বাট সৰি ভুল হৈ গ'ল আৰু ন explanation. The 6th schedule, the governor of India has special powers. 6th schedule আছে বুলি জানো কিন্তু ভাবিছিলোঁ Article 71 to বেছি powerful হ'ব বুলি powers. In respect of autonomous districts in Assam, the governor may direct and that an act of parliament or the state legislature shall not apply. I shall apply that modification as specified. Okay. At 67, consider the following statements regarding special drawing rights. Special drawing rights is a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of International Monetary Fund members. Freely usable currencies. Drawing rights. The value of that is special drawing rights is based on a basket of 5 currencies: dollar, euro, Chinese renminbi, Japanese yen, and British pound. এনেকৈ চাইনিজবিলাকৰ renminbi কয় নেকি ইউৱানহে কৈছিলে চাইনিজৰ special drawing rights can be held and used by private individuals and corporations. এটোতো নহয় এইটো কৈ হৈ যাব কাৰেক্ট কৈছে ন ডিটোতো হ'বই নোৱাৰে 1 2 3 4 আছে ন 4 নাই 1 2 3 এইটোতো হ'ব নোৱাৰে এইটো 2 3 হ'ব নোৱাৰে 1 3 হ'ব নোৱাৰে 1 2 হ'ব এইটোৱে হ'ব yes এইটো হ'ব so A is the correct answer. Okay, অলপ সোনকালে চাব লাগিব 68. In the Ahom court, the Majindar Burua served as the chief architect of the royal palaces, private secretary to the king, responsible for royal correspondence, head of the intelligence and espionage wing, commander of the artillery. Majindar Burua artillery command bomba thoma commander হেৰি আছিলে নেকি Majindar Burua, chief architect of the royal palaces. নাজানো দে That is B, private secretary to the king, responsible for royal correspondences. এইটো B আছিলে Majindar Burua মানে chief private secretary আছিলে কিঙৰ Majindar Burua acts as the private secretary of king. He was responsible for drawing royal letters, maintaining state documents and handling diplomatic correspondences. Which of the following constitutional amendments is known as the mini constitution? That is 42nd Amendment Act. That is B. That is B. Yes. Okay. Okay. The Mazuli Island, first island district of India, is situated between which two channels of the Brahmaputra? Khergoti Sutti Brahmaputra main channel, Lohit and Subansiri. Mazuli Island car to the Masati Asana, situated between which two channels of the Brahmaputra? Lohit or Masut Kinaka, Lohit or Tonai, Jiaborli and Tansiri, Paglati and Manas. Subansiri to এটা হয় সোবনচিৰি হ'লে লোহিতে হ'ব মানসৰ লগতো ইম্পচিবল ধনচিৰি আৰু জিয়াভৰলি কোনদিবা আছে মই ভালকৈ নাজানো গতিকে বি ইজ দ্য কাৰেক্ট আনচাৰ খেৰগুটি সতি এণ্ড ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ মেইন চেনেল লোহিতটো ইমান ওপৰত আছে ডিব্ৰুগড়ৰ হয় অলপ বস্তুবিলাক ভালকৈ চাব লাগে তাৰমানে মেইন চেনেলৰে আছে মাজুলী আইলেণ্ডটো খেৰগুটি সতিটো অলপ মানে টাচ কৰে আৰু ন very much diplomatic type of question okay anyways no problem consider the following statements regarding microplastics there are plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in diameter হ'ব পাৰে primarily microplastics are tiny particles designed for commercial use such as microbeads in cosmetics হ'ব পাৰে they can absorb cosmetic microbead use কৰে they can absorb persistent organic pollutants absorb কৰিব পাৰে নেকি for the surrounding seawater and the human food central bioaccumulation এইটোতো হয় human foodতো সোমাব পাৰে সেইটো that is correct but they can absorb persistent organic pollutants absorb কৰি থয় organic pollutants বিলাক from the surrounding seawater yes that is correct 3 is correct that is 5 millimeter itu correct 1 and 2 3 are correct primarily microscopic tiny particles designed for commercial use as such as microbeads all of them are correct সবতে থাকে microbeads 3D হ'ব itu yes D very important question and 72 in the context of the history of Assam the revolt of 1857 was led in the region by Gomthar Kaur, Maniram Devan, Kukhol Kaur and Sambodhan Phunglo কোনে কৰিছিলে যেটো 1857 মানে হৈছিলে ন কিবা কৈছে পয় মিটিনি হৈছিলে 1857 ত Gomthar Kaur আছিলে Gomthar Kaur নহয় Maniram Devan Kukhol Kaur আছিলে Kukhol Kaur হ'ব Maniram Devan B হ'ব B yes B Maniram Devan was the prime leader of 1857 uprising in Assam that is a monarchy installation the Kondorpeshwar Singh on the throne he restored কৰিছে Kondorpeshwar Singh but the plot was discovered by the British and was hanged in Jorhat in 1858 সেইকাৰণে Maniram Devanক Jorhatত hang কৰিছিলে ফাঁচি দিছিলে 1858 along with Pioli Buro মাৰিছিল তেতিয়া with reference to the Indian Constitution Maniram Devaনৰ লগত Pioli Buro হেৰি হৈছিলে আৰু Pioli ফুকনৰ লগত কোন আছিলে পাহৰি থাকিলোঁ With reference to the Indian Constitution, which of the following is not fundamental right? Konto fundamental right নহয়? Right to equality, right against exploitation, right to property, itu নহয় fundamental right. C. C is not fundamental right. Which of the following best describes stagflation? Stagflation, high economic growth accompanied by high inflation. Low economic growth accompanied by low inflation. Persistent high inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand are period of falling prices across the entire country. Under economy, there is stagflation, that is high economic growth accompanied by high inflation. High economic growth হয়, high inflation হয় কিনে এইটোৱে হ'ব. Low economic growth, persistent high inflation combined with high unemployment and এইটো হ'ব মোৰ মতে আৰু চি হয়. Persistent high inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand. High inflation হয় and high unemployment হয়, stagnant হৈছে demand. Okay. Consider full appears international organizations and their headquarters. The World Trade Organization or International Court of Justice, Hague. এইটো হেগটো নেদাৰলেণ্ডছৰ আছিলে ন? নেদাৰলেণ্ডছৰে হ'ব লাগে হেগ। সেইটো হেগ হয়, এইটো কাৰেক্ট। World Trade Organization, World Trade Organization Geneva হ'ব লাগে। UNESCO World Heritage Site, that is London. Which of them are correct? One is correct. And two is also correct. UNESCO World Heritage Site. One and two only. UNESCO World Heritage Site. UNESCO World Heritage Site to all on the no. So one and two only. A. Yeah. That is UNESCO World Heritage Site to Paris. Why? Geneva. The Battle of Hadrasuki 1822. Hadrasuki Battle was fought between Hadrasuki Battle Hadrasuki Ahom Mughal, Ahom Burmese, British Burmese, Kos and Burmese. Hadrasuki Battle to British and Burmese হ'ব লাগে দেই, but মই নকৰোঁ। Ahom and Burmese মাজত হৈছিলে Hadrasuki Battle 1822. Hadrasuki Battle Ahom and Burmese 1822. Hadrasuki was the final Burmese status. Nitin Phukon, Ahom army, Nitin Phukon, Burmese victory. Battle, the complete occupation of Assam until British intervened in 1824. British 1824 আহি কিনে মানুহবিলাকৰ লগত বাৰ্মিজবিলাকৰ লগত হেৰি কৰিছিলে আৰু অসমত। Regarding the Earth's crust, which of the following statements correct? The oceanic crust is thinner and denser than the continental crust. The oceanic crust is thinner and denser than the continental crust. পাহৰি থাকিলোঁ দেই, কিন্তু কণ্টিনেণ্টেল ক্ৰাষ্টটো অচিনিক ক্ৰাষ্টতকৈ মানে ডেঞ্চাৰ নেকি? হ'ব পাৰে দেই, হ'ব পাৰে, হ'ব ডেঞ্চাৰ হ'ব আহি। The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and magnesium. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are, to নাজানো, 1 to 2 correct হয়। Mineral constituents, silica and magnesium. নহয়, only one is correct. A. Yes, only A is correct. TQ is incorrect. Continental crust is primarily composed of silica and aluminum. Alumina, yes. Where the oceanic crust is composed of silica and magnesium. Okay. In the context of Indian polity, the pro tem speaker is appointed by the ongoing speaker of the Lok Sabha. Pro tem speaker, the ongoing speaker of the Lok Sabha. The president of India, the prime minister. তো লোকসভাৰ স্পীকাৰে হ'ব প্ৰেছিডেণ্টহে হয় প্ৰেছিডেণ্টহে এপইণ্ট কৰে প্ৰটেক স্পীকাৰক লোকসভা ইজ দ্য লোকসভা ইজ দ্য স্পীকাৰ প্ৰটেম স্পীকাৰ প্ৰেছিডেণ্ট হেৰি কৰে ন লোকসভাৰ Okay, which of the following is the state bird of Assam? State bird to Deoha ho, white winged uttak, that is B. Yes, B is the correct answer. Consider the following statements regarding quantum entanglement. Yes, quantum entanglement. It is a phenomenon where two or more particles become linked such that two of one instantly influences the state of the other, regardless of the distance between them. Yes, this is the correct one. Yes, quantum etar pura বহুত দূৰত থকা বস্তুটো কৈ হুবহু হেৰি কৰে ফ'ল' কৰে মানে বস্তুটো instantly influence. Albert Einstein famously referred to this phenomenon as spooky action at a distance. Albert Einstein famously referred to this phenomenon as spooky action at a distance বুলি কৈছিলে হ'ব পাৰে It forms the basis for quantum cryptography and quantum computing. Yes, this is correct. All of them are correct. D. Yes, D. Albert Einstein gives me spooky action at a distance. This is quantum entanglement. Scopy কি কৈছিলে spooky action at a distance কৈছিলে বহুত দূৰত থাকি কিনে এটা no. With reference to global climate change, consider the following statements regarding albedo effect. Albedo effect to global climate change. Albedo is a measure of the fraction of solar energy reflected the Earth's surface. Is a measure of fraction of solar energy reflected the Earth's surface. Solar energy reflected Earth's surface. Fresh snow has a very high albedo, while dark surfaces like asphalt or the ocean have a low albedo. As global temperatures rise and ice melts, the Earth's albedo increases due to a cooling effect. নাজানো দে এইটো অলপ অলপ কিবা এটা হেৰি হৈছে কিন্তু ভালকৈ নাজানো Okay, A is the correct answer. 1 and 2 are correct, and third one is wrong. Albedo is a measure of the fraction of solar energy reflected of Earth's surface. Yes, albedo is a measure of the fraction of solar energy reflected of Earth's surface. পৃথিৱীৰ surface মানে reflection হয় আৰু albedo solar মানে energy. Fresh snow has a very high albedo. Yes. যেতিয়া solar এইবিলাক মানে চানত আইচত পৰে বিৰাট ভালকৈ হেৰি কৰি মানে The dark surfaces like asphalt and have low. Yes, this is correct. The global temperatures rise and ice melts. As global the increases due to a cooling effect. I don't know why. Okay. Third বস্তুখিনি because of the ice melts and the reveals high albedo কাৰণে মানে গৰম হয় আৰু when it melts হয় না ice to the water swell the earth absorbs more solar energy than reflecting it. This creates a positive feedback loop that accelerates warming rather than a cooling effect. কুলিং ইফেক্ট নকৰে নহয়, এইটো গ্ল'বেল ৱাৰ্মিঙেহে কৰে, ঠাণ্ডা নকৰে নহয়। বস্তুখিনি প্ৰথমত ঠিকে আছিলে, লাষ্টৰটোহে। 82 in the context of the history of Assam, the Dhali and Dhenudhar were categories of administrative officers in Ahom court, foot soldiers and archers in the Ahom military, tax collectors under the administrative artists and musicians. Ito BA habo, BA habo. Ete the Ahom military organization, the packs were classified based on their specialization packs. Eta packot চাৰিটা গোট থাকে ন, কিবা আছিলে এনেকৈ। চাৰিটা পাক হ'লে এটা গোট হয়। ঢালি refers to the soldiers who carried shields, ঢালবিলাক শিলবিলাক জিয়াৰ কৰে ন। Dhenudhar means who archers who are known as Dhenudhar and Dhenu bows. Regarding the United Nations Security Council, consider the following statements. United Nations Security Council consists of 15 members, 15 members থাকে, including 5 permanent, yes, permanent 5, and 10 non-permanent members, yes. Non-permanent members are elected for a term of 3 years by the General Assembly. Non-permanent 3 years karne hoy ne? Yes, 3 years karne hoy. The veto power is available to all. Veto power karo mane pas kote kadar na thake, pas tare thake. 1 and 2 are correct. 1 and 2 are B is non-permanent members. 2 wrong hoy. Non-permanent members are elected for a term of 5 years karne hoy niki? 5 years karne hobo lage to. Elected for a term of 2 years. 2 years karne hasile. Sorry. সৰু বস্তু মিষ্টেক হৈ যায় ন। 3 নে 5 হ'ব নালাগে বুলি ভাবিছিলোঁ। অ'কে, got it. The 5 permanent হেৰিবিলাক আছে: চাইনা, ফ্ৰান্স, ৰাছিয়া, ইউক্ৰেইন, USA. চাইনা, ফ্ৰান্স, ৰাছিয়া, ইউক্ৰেইন, USA. বায়াস্ড হয় আৰু এইবিলাক। The Laika-Dodhia region, which was recently in the news. Laika-Dodhia region is in the news regarding the rehabilitation of forest dwellers is which of the protected areas? Laika-Dodhia, এটাতো কৰ্ণাটকাৰ হ'ব লাগে। কাজিৰঙা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, মানস, চৰি, কৰ্ণাটকাৰতো নহয়। Laika-Dodhiaটো কাজিৰঙা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, নিউজত আছিলে ন। ইট ৱাজ ৰিগাৰ্ডিং ৰিহেবিলিটেশ্যন অফ ফৰেষ্ট ডুৱেলাৰ্ছ। ফৰেষ্ট ডুৱেলাৰ্ছৰ ৰিহেবিলিটেশ্যন কৰিবৰ কাৰণে কাজিৰঙা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, মানস নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, ওৰাং নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক, আই ডণ্ট ন' দেই। দেট ইজ বি, ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্কত আছিলে ন। তাৰমানে কেনেকুৱা বস্তুখিনি কেনেকুৱা আছিলে। দ্য Laika-Dodhia are two forest villages located inside the ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক। দুটা ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্কৰ ভিতৰত ভিলেজ আছিলে ন, Laika and Dodhia. The residents have been seeking rehabilitation for decades, as they lack basic amenities due to their location within a protected area where permanent infrastructure is restricted. Forestor underত আছিলে, এইকাৰণে rehabilitation বিচাৰিছিলে ন। Forest villages located inside ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা. Celebration of 40 kids and basic within a protected area where permanent infrastructure is restricted. Itu regarding the rehabilitation of forest villages, protected area, that is ডিব্ৰু-চৈখোৱা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্কত এতিয়াবা rehabilitation পাইছেনে নাই নাজানো দেই। With reference to Indian history, the Delhi Chalo slogan was given by Delhi Chalo slogan কোনে? সুভাষ চন্দ্ৰ বোস, ভগত সিং, জৱাহৰলাল নেহৰু না মহাত্মা গান্ধী? আই ডণ্ট ন', এইটোকে নাজানো মই দেই। There was সুভাষ চন্দ্ৰ বোস দিছিলে, সুভাষ চন্দ্ৰ বোস দিল্লী চলো শ্লোগান দিছিলে। অ'কে, কি সময়ত দিছিলে সুভাষ চন্দ্ৰ বোস? gave the Delhi Chalo march to Delhi to the Indian National Congress, Indian National Army in 1943 during their campaign to liberate India from British rule with the help of Japanese forces. Japanese forces help কৰি কিনে এটা campaign কৰিছিল and during their campaign to liberate India from British rule with the Japanese force Japanese লগত সুভাষ চন্দ্ৰ বসুৰ যিটো ইণ্ডিয়ান নেশ্যনেল আৰ্মি এইটো অলপ হেৰি আছিলে কপাৰেশ্যন আছিলে consider the full statements regarding the Laffer Laffer curve in economics. Laffer curve, I don't know. What does this Laffer curve mean in economics? It represents the relationship between tax rates and the amount of tax revenue collected by governments. It suggests that increasing tax rates beyond a certain point will result in an increase in total tax revenue. It assumes that at a 0% tax rate and a 100% tax rate, the government revenue will be zero. I don't know. That is all of them are correct. Laffer curve is represents it represents the relationship between tax rates and the amount of tax revenue collected by governments. Relation আছে ন tax rate আৰু tax revenue মাজত collected. It suggests that increasing tax rates beyond a certain point will result in a decrease in total tax revenue. Tax rate যেতিয়া বেছি কৰি বাঢ়ে তেতিয়া revenue অলপ কমকে হয় generate হয় আৰু ন it assumes that at a 0% tax rate and a 100% tax rate the government revenue will be zero. It assumes that at a 0% tax rate 0% and 100% tax rate the government revenue will be zero. Yes. Okay, this is it. Develop explanation. The Laffer curve argues that if taxes are too high, they discourage work and investment, leading to a smaller tax base and lower revenue. Conversely, at 0%, no revenue is collected, and at 100%, people have no incentive to work, also resulting in zero revenue. Question number 87. Which of the following is the southernmost point of the Indian Union? Southernmost point of the Indian Union, Kanyakumari have Indian port, point Kalimar. Ito Kanyakumari, southernmost point of the Indian Union. That is ito terrestrial, that is Kanyakumari. That is common sorry, B. Indira point. Oh, sorry. এইটোতো পাৰিব লাগিছিলে মই কি কৰিলোঁ কনচেনট্ৰেশ্যন ভাল নহয় মোৰ তাৰমানে এইটো ইণ্ডিয়ান ইউনিয়নটো আন্দামান নিকোবৰ হৈ যায় ন এইটো কি ধৰিমতো হয়তো চেলি মিষ্টেক হৈ গ'ল আৰু 0.0 লগতে দেখোন গ্ৰেট নিকোবৰ লাইনত আন্দামান নিকোবৰ আৰ্কিপেলাগো. It is the southernmost point of the Indian Union. The southernmost point of the mainland. Okay, regarding cloud seeding, which of the following chemicals is most commonly used to induce artificial rain? Potassium permanganate, the silver iodide, হয় potassium permanganate silver iodide ব্যৱহাৰ কৰে magnesium sulfate নহয় sodium bicarbonate নহয় এটা কোনটো বেছিকৈ কৰিছে ন Silver iodide হয় silver iodide বেছিকৈ ব্যৱহাৰ কৰে বি হ'ব লাগে yes B. Used in cloud seeding. This is structure allows acid natural similar to that of natural water vapor can condense it and press eventually falling as in rain-offs. No. Yes. Silver iodide. In the Mughal history, the Battle of Alabai Battle, 1669, Mughal Battle of Alabai, 1669 is remembered for আলবিৰ ভিতৰত the victory of the Ahoms by led by লাচিত বৰফুকন নহয়, হ'ব পাৰে দেই লাচিত বৰফুকনৰ সময়তে 1671 a major defeat of the Ahoms where 10,000 soldiers were killed in a single day. হাৰিছিলে অলপ পিছত হাৰিছিলেতো the signing of a peace treaty between the two empires, the death of the Mughal Rajaram Singh or Rajaram Singh to মৰা নাছিলে এইটো বিটো হ'ব ভিক্টৰ অফ লাচিত বৰফুকন জিকা নাছিলে বোধহয় মেজৰ ডিফিট অলপ যুদ্ধত হাৰিছিলে ন লাচিত বৰফুকন য়েছ বি মোগলে 17বাৰ আক্ৰমণ কৰিছে কিন্তু একবাৰ হৰুব নোৱাৰিলে সেনেকুৱা কথা আছে কিন্তু এই হিচাপত এ হ'ব লাগে এ দিছোঁ দিয়া চৰি বি হৈ গ'ল না এইটো হৈ গ'ল আৰু মিষ্টেক বি হাৰিছিলে প্ৰথমতে 10,000 সৈন্য মৰিছিলে মোগলৰ আহোমৰ the battle of fought between Ahom force Mughal. This was defeated by for Ahoms into an open plain by the Ahom cavalry. Open field গৈছিলে 10,000 Ahom soldiers মৰিছিলে লাচিত বৰফুকনৰ পিছতে কি নাভাল গৰিল্লা টেকটিক্স এপ্লাই কৰিছিলে চৰাইঘাটত তাৰপিছতে 1671 চৰাইঘাট battle which of the following schedule of the Indian Constitution contains provisions for the administration and the control of scheduled areas, scheduled tribes. That is 4th schedule, 5th schedule, 6th schedule, and 8th schedule, 7th schedule. 5th schedule, 7th schedule, 8th schedule, 8th to 5th schedule. 90 is B, yes. It is B. With reference to G7 group of 7 considered for estimates, it is an intergovernmental organization consisting of the world's 7 largest advanced economies. Yes, Russia, G7 advanced economies. Russia was a member of this group. Russia, which was the non-G8, non-G8, but was suspended following the annexation of Crimea. Russia Crimea karne Crimea karne nobuto. Russia Ukraine karne itu wrong ase. The G7 has a permanent headquarters located in Brussels, Belgium. So 1 and 2 are correct. 3 are correct. 1 and 3 are correct. C. Oh, sorry. 1 and 2 are correct. Correct. Crimea carry কৰিছিলে ন ৰাছিয়া আনেক্স কৰাৰ কাৰণে ৰাছিয়াক হেৰি কৰিছিলে বহিষ্কাৰ কৰিছিলে Okay. The Andover Treaty was signed in 1826 of the British officers signed the treaty of the British officer Captain Wells আছিলে ন Archibald Campbell Captain Wells na Thomas Robertson Britishৰ আছিলে East India Company Captain Wells Campbell Captain Wells হ'ব C Campbell আছিলে এইটো মিষ্টেক থাকিলে পাহৰি থাকিও ইমান সোনকালে পাহৰি যাওঁ Archibald Campbell তো মনত নাই Campbellটো মনত আছিলে অলপ Okay, Sir General Archibald Campbell to sign treaty with the British and the representative governor আছিলে এইটো বাৰ্মিজ বিলাকৰ লেগাইং the governor of লেগাইঙৰ গভৰ্ণৰ আছিলে মাহামিন হালা Quautin আছিলে this trade ended and the first Anglo-Burmese war. Consider the following statements regarding the Article 32 in Constitution. It gives the right to individuals to vote the Supreme Court to seek assistance for the enforcement of the fundamental rights. Fundamental right to take an article right to constitutional remediৰ কাৰণেহে আছিলে এইটো নহয় বিআৰ আম্বেদকাৰ আৰ্টিকল 32 হাৰ্ড অঞ্চল এটা হয়তো কাৰেক্ট হয় তাৰপিছত the power to issue writs like habeas corpus mandamus provision co-rento and certificate under this article. Sorry. Today, two correct hoy or correct. Two correct hoy. Pakistani correct hoy no more doubt ase. It gives the right to individuals to move the Supreme Court to assistance for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Fundamental article to constitutional remedy asle. Constitution to remedy korbar karne no. তেতিয়া হলে 3 to correct হ'ব লাগে all of them correct D yes D correct হ'ব লাগে all of them হ'ব লাগে which of the following is the largest wetland in India Assam Sonbil festival and also aside for the Sonbil festival the which of the following is the largest wetland in Assam and the Sonbil festival ক'ত হয় Sonbil Tipur Bill Sonbilতে হ'ব Sonbilতে হয় that is B হ'ব অলপ সহজ হয় কিন্তু তথাপিও ডাউট থাকে ন Sonbil to ইপিনে ক'ত আছে কৰিমগঞ্জত আছে এইটো শ্ৰীভূমি regarding the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea consider the following the territorial sea extends up to 12 nautical miles from the baseline yes that is correct the exclusive economic zone this extends up to 200 nautical miles from the baseline yes the is exclusive economic zone the coastal state has the right to exploit both living and non-living the coastal state has the right to exploit both living and non-living resources to pare exclusive economic zone কিন্তু এটো সব কেয়াৰ কৰিব নোৱাৰে নহয় এটো নহব এটো eligible নহব so 1 and 2 are correct only 1 to A D to meaning to ভালকে বুজা নাই exclusive economic zone the coastal side has the right to exploit both living and non-living resources exploit কৰিব পাৰে বুলি কৈছে coastal side has the right okay D mistake হ'ল আৰু The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea provides a comprehensive legal framework for all activities in the oceans or seas. The exclusive economic zone allows a country to manage resources like fish and well, allowing other nations the right of navigation and overflight. Nations have right of navigation and overflight. 200 to nautical 200 or 12 নহয় 200 or nautical mile পেলাই যিকোনো বেৰ কৰিব পাৰে সবে ইউজ কৰিব পাৰে the Jorhat Sarvajanik Sabha 1884 was first political organization. It was founded by Jagannath Barua. That is Jagannath Barua. Yeah. Jagannath Barua founded Jorhat Sarvajanik in 1884, primarily observing the aspirations of the people of the British government in the uh, 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 protest against the government's agrarian and land revenue policies. Yes. 97, with reference to nuclear fusion, which of the following statements are correct? It involves the splitting of a heavy nucleus into two lighter nuclei. Nuclear fusion means the splitting of heavy nucleus into two lighter nucleus. Nuclear fusion, heavy nucleus, two into one, uh, 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 one into two. Nuclear not heavy nucleus into splitting of heavy nucleus into two lighter nuclei. Ito নহয়, ito wrong. Wrong হ'ব লাগে এইটো. It is the process that powers the sun and other stars. Nuclear fusion to powers process the powers of sun. Not possible. Wrong. Both are wrong, maybe. It requires extremely high temperatures and pressure to overcome the electrostatic repulsion between nuclei. এইটো only one হ'ব তেতিয়াহ'লে, সেইটো ওৱানে হ'ব লাগে, সেইটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে, গতিকে ওৱান। এ য়েছ, এ ইজ কাৰেক্ট হ'বই লাগিব। বিহে কাৰেক্ট, 2 and 3 are কাৰেক্ট। প্ৰথমতে ভাবিছিলোঁ নিউক্লিয়াৰ ফিউজনতো ফিউজন হ'লেতো দুটা বস্তু, এটা বস্তু দুটা নহয়, দুটা বস্তু এটা হয়, মানে হেভি নিউক্লিয়াছ। It is the process, nuclear fusion, not the process that powers the sun and other stars. Nuclear fusion, itu amar itu নহয়. It requires extremely high temperatures and pressure to overcome the electrostatic repulsion between nuclei. Okay. বহুত ৰং কৰিলোঁ মই আজি। Describes nuclear fission. Is incorrect. It's nuclear fission or has no. মানে দুটা এটা heavy nucleus becomes splits into two small nucleus. Small nucleus. Lighter nucleus. Fission is the process of combining two nuclei, like hydrogen isotopes. Two nuclei combine হয়, দুটা combine হয়, split নহয়, form fusion হলে to form a heavier nucleus. Yes. Split combine হয়, release a massive amount of energy. Yes. In the context of Indian economy, the primary deficit is calculated as fiscal deficit. Deficit means the loss, no, fiscal deficit minus interest payments. Revenue deficit minus grants to states. One. Primary deficit indicates the government's borrowing requirements to meet its expenses, excluding the interest payments on previous debts. Shrinking primary deficit indicates fiscal discipline. 99 question. Which of the following national highways connects Guwahati with Silchar through the Meghalaya Hills? Meghalaya Hills or Shillong de par hoi kone Guwahati to Silchar kone connect kore. 37 not possible. 6 nazano de. 15, 52 to no hai, 52 to no hai, 52 to no hai. 6 arrow 52 to it dot no hui pene dot no hui hai sai. 15 6 to ho na lage. 15 হ'ব লাগে, 15 হ'ব লাগে। C 6 হয়, 6 আছিলে। Guwahati, Shillong and Silchar. 6 number. mm, previously part of National Highway 44 আছিলে ন previously part of National Highway 44 a live line that connects Guwahati to Silchar by Shillong and Zhuhai in Meghalaya extended further to Mizoram and Tripura. Last question: the Digway refinery was commissioned in the year 1901. That is B. B B B B B B. Okay. As discovered in Digway 1889, Digway refinery was formally commissioned in 1901 by the Assam Oil Company. It's a historic landmark in India's industrial history. Oh my god. আজি বহুত কম মাৰ্কছ পালোঁ হে মই 1 2 3 4 5 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 15 16 17 18 18 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 54 পৰা যিটো 54 এতিয়া 2 তাতে 8 এতে 110 পৰা 18 গ'লে কিমান হ'ব শূন্য এতে 90 মাৰ্কছ পাইছোঁ আজি কম পোৱা যেন পাইছিলোঁ বাট 90 পাইছোঁ 8 পৰা 8 গ'লে শূন্য 4 2 8 5 2 10 5 2 10 yes ঠিক আছে no 10 পৰা গ'লে no আজি 90 মাৰ্কছ পাইছোঁ আজি 90 মাৰ্কছ পাইছোঁ কম পোৱা যেন পাইছিলোঁ কিন্তু মানে বেছিকৈ এটেম্প কৰাৰ কাৰণে মাৰ্কছটো বেছিকৈ আহিছে নিগেটিভ বহুত কেইটা গৈছে তাৰমানে কেইটা 18টা হ'লে 36 নিগেটিভ গৈছে মোৰ বাপৰে okay thank you very much for watching the video guys if you like my work then you may subscribe to the channel thank you